What you're looking at on screen is an ad account where just yesterday alone, we spent $23,000 on EAM ads, which stands for Easy A Media. And as you can see, there's two ad accounts here. This client has one ad account in one location and another ad account in another location. And at the end of the day, I want you guys to understand that they were spending about 8 to 10K per day when we got into the ad account. And within 4 months, literally 4 months, we were able to add $23,000 a day in spent. And so if you factor that out, that's over $600,000 a month in ad spend that we added to this brand's ad account profitably, actually extremely profitably. And the reason why I'm making this video is because as a result of running a very large community, we're actually right now the #1 community on all of Skool, at least for now, and we're at the time of filming this, and I get a ton of questions every single day. And what I want you guys to understand is that most of you need to think way bigger. So many of you are focused on these small little wins every single day. And you're asking questions like, what kind of an impact does Andromeda have on my ad account? What campaign setup is the best to use now? Should I be targeting audiences? Or literally just a couple days ago, I got a question saying like, should I add these logos to my Shopify checkout? Now, just to be clear, this is gonna be a little bit more of a rant style video, so hang in there. But for some of you, this might actually make you more money than anything tactical I've ever shared on my channel. So this is you. If you're someone that is focused on these small little things, you're trying to get these small little wins. And you know what? Let's just say, for example, you do find a better account structure and oh my goodness, you're able to get 10% more ad spend. Most of you guys watching this video are not spending $100,000 a day. So who cares? Like, who cares about a 10% or a 20% increase when some of you guys, even, respectfully, you're spending even 10K a day. It's like, okay, well, maybe if we get a 10% jump, that's pretty solid. We're getting an extra $1,000 a day in spend. But at the end of the day, it's $1,000 a day in spend. And for most of you guys, you're not even at 10K a day in spend. You're actually spending like 2K a day in spend or $1,000 a day in spend. And for some of you, you're literally spending like $300 a day. So why are you focused on things that are going to give you a 5 to 15% bump? Like, oh my goodness, all right, you're spending $300 a day and you get a 10% bump. Guess what? Now we're spending $330. Like, guys, it's so irrelevant. And I see so many, and like you can tell I'm a little bit fired up about this stuff because like I'm trying to help you guys. And when I make these videos, it's like my goal is like I want you guys to make more money, because guess what? If you watch these videos, you make more money, you're probably going to want to, learn how to make even more money. And so then you join Evolve and then potentially get big enough where you come and work with us at the agency. And so everybody always asks me, oh, Spencer, why are you trying to help people? Why share information? Well, there you go. But at the end of the day, like so many of you guys are focused on the smallest things that give you these teeny tiny little jumps, where the people who are actually hitting 100K days or people who are actually doing big numbers, they don't care about that stuff. And even at their scale where 10% or 15% is a pretty big bump, they still, a lot of them don't even care about that because they're just thinking way bigger. They're not looking for, and let's even get crazy. Let's say your brand new ad account structure or your brand new audience that you spent 2 days trying to perfect, gives you a 20% bump. Oh my goodness, right? You get a 20% bump on your 2K per day in spend, and now you're spending an extra $400. Woohoo. But at the end of the day, the guys who are really savage, who are really killing it, who you see on this channel that are literally talking about how they hit 100K days, and we're going to have multiple people literally hitting $1 million days in this community in November, they are not focused on this stuff. They are focused on the things that are not going to 10 to 20%. They're going to 100% to, for some of these guys, 1,000% increase their business. And they focus on things like ad creatives, and they focus things like landing pages and offers. And even then, if I'm to try to direct you and guide you, it's like, okay, well, thanks for the rant, Spencer. What do I actually focus on? Literally for 99% of you, all you should be focusing on is ad creatives. Like if you're spending less than, I would even say $10,000 a day, just focus on nothing but ads. Just get so good at making ads that you could be a literal moron and you could have no idea how to run Facebook ads, but you can still scale because you're so good at creating ads. Like that is somebody who is going to win. okay? And then if we actually help them, and I have an example of this where there was earlier a guy where all he was doing, he's a client at the agency now, all he was doing was making organic content, and his content was so good. And he literally, for lack of better words, was a moron. He didn't know how to even run Facebook ads. He's like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, dude, take your best organic videos, put them inside of Facebook and let them rip. And all of a sudden the guy went from like 250K a month to 600K a month at like a 10x ROAS because he was like, oh, I didn't realize my content was that good. I was like, dude, your content's insane. At the end of the day here, what I'm trying to say, guys, is like, if you just get so good at making ad creatives, it does not matter what ad account structure that you use. And if you ask me, and this is now after seeing ad accounts that are literally spending $100,000 a day in one campaign, okay? We literally have people that we consult that spend $100,000 a day on ads and they have one campaign. The only way that is possible is if you just have insane creatives and you have an insane offer. Those are the only two things that matter. And so for those of you that are watching all of these YouTube videos, trying to find the hack, trying to figure out what to do, should I be focusing on this little tiny thing or that little tiny thing? It's like, just delete that from your mind because you're wasting mental energy. I get the idea of small little wins add up to big wins. 100%, right? I'm actually a believer in that, where it's like, hey, you get 5% here, you get 5% here, you get 10% there, you get 15% here, and next thing you know, I don't know what my math is, but you get like 30 or 40%, and 30, 40% is a pretty big lift. But again, for so many of you, you don't want 30 to 40% lifts. You want 300 to 400% lifts. And for some of you, you need 3,000 to 4,000% lifts to get to where you want to go, or get to, 100K days or whatever it is. Okay. And so the reason why I'm making this video is because it just kind of came as a result of seeing so many questions, and hopefully, what I showed you in the beginning just shows proof where it's like, for this brand, we literally we don't care about, they have all this different media buying stuff that they're doing. We don't care. I'm like, dude, just launch our one campaign. Let us just rip ads. And guess what? Our campaign is spending over $20,000 a day, just our one campaign. Okay. And that is because we're focused on the things that actually matter. Even a lot of you guys who right now are focused on landing pages and congruent funnels because you heard Spencer talk about that once and it gave you hope. Oh, that's the reason why my ad account sucks. My creatives are fine, but I just need to focus on landing pages. Even for some of you guys, just don't even think about landing pages. Just screw landing pages. Just focus on an offer that is so good and focus on ads that are so good that you can just sell anything. If you just master creating ads, you will be able to make more money. And I can only say this, and I can only rant about this because I see it time and time and time and time again. Anybody that is crushing it in our community, or any clients that are crushing it, it always just comes down to the ads. If you just make ads that are good, you're gonna scale. We took a smaller brand that we onboarded and we were supporting them, and they were spending $400 a day on one campaign, and now that one campaign is spending $2,000 a day because we found one ad. We literally 5x'd, and on top of that, the ROAS actually doubled. So we 2x the ROAS, we 5x the spend. It's a 10x, so that's 1,000% increase from one ad. If we were just focused on media buying the whole time, that would have never happened. Right? And so it's why are you spending all your time on things that just don't matter? And I just wish more people would talk about this, but at the end of the day, this doesn't get clicks. If I made a video talking about how Andromeda has changed the game, or Andromeda, whatever the hell it's called, it's changed the game. Oh my gosh, I used to think it was this, and now you guys, brand new structure, test lookalike audiences again. That's going to give you guys so many hope, but you know what? It's going to keep you broke. It's not going to make you money. I want to make you money. So just try to, for anybody who has cared to listen to this rant, just focus on the stuff that matters, man. Just make ad creatives and just get better at making ad creatives. That's all you need. Literally, that's all you need. It's funny because it's not easy, but at the same time, it's so easy. All you have to do is just make better ads. That is it. And there's a joke in Evolve where, the number one reply that we give people whenever they ask specific questions, hey, what's going on with my performance? I was at a 2.6 here. And I was like, dude, what are you going to do? Just make better ads. That's literally the answer. Now, obviously we need to show them how to make better ads, and that's what we show them how to do. But at the end of the day, this is probably the most ranty video that I've ever done, but so many of you guys you're focused on things that just do not matter. At the end of the day, I genuinely do not think media buying even begins or is even worth looking into until you're spending 50 to 100K per day. Even then, it's dude, we have brands spending 100K per day with one campaign, but at their scale, if you optimize the structure the right way and you get 10%, that's 5 to 10 grand a day. That's, now we're talking about something, you know what I mean? Right? Or 20%, that's 20 grand a day. That's real money. You know what I mean? And so I know sometimes, my view on numbers have been skewed by seeing bigger numbers, but for so many of you guys, it's 2K a day in spend, 3K a day in spend. You think you're crushing it. I remember the time where I saw an ad account spending 3K per day and I was like, oh my God, like, this is insane. Like, it's so small in comparison to what is going on and the scale that you can actually get to if you actually just focus on ads. Like, I'm telling you, I've never seen anything more powerful in a Facebook ad account than ad creatives. And so whatever videos you're about to go watch, or whenever you see, use this video as a reminder, like whenever you see a new meta media buying strategy, literally just ignore it. Just like ask YouTube to stop recommending it to you, because the reason why people make these videos is because they get views, because it's like, oh, I want to click buttons to make money. That's so easy. But nobody's here yelling at you for 10 minutes straight telling you to just make ads. Like, just make ads. That's all you guys need to do. And if you need help making ads, I've got videos on my channel that show you how to make ads. But at the end of the day, guys, like, I wanted to make this because there's just so many people trying to get clicks and trying to sell you hope that some Facebook ad update or structure is going to save the day. Like, for those of you guys that remember when ASC specific campaigns came out and all the videos about ASC started coming out and everybody's like, oh my gosh, Facebook's back. And guess what? Some of you guys took your ads and you threw them in ASC and maybe you got, again, 10% increase, 20% increase, but did it 10x your account? Absolutely not. Okay. So just focus on the things that matter. That is my longest, probably most aggressive rant that I'm going to have on my YouTube channel, but I think it's worth it because so many of you guys, like, if you actually listen to this advice and you actually just, all right, you know what, I'm just going to block out any media buying crap and I'm just going to focus on nothing about ads, because again, like, it takes up mental space. When you're thinking about all this stuff, or even like, I just see people just like, they'll spend a whole day in their ad account trying to figure out why performance is down versus the previous day. Like, dude, just focus on ad. Like, most of you guys cannot control what is going on in the ad account, let alone what's going on in the world. Like, last week or 2 weeks ago, like, there's some crazy shit going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some crazy stuff happening. And it's like, you just can't control that. But what you can control is your ads and like what you make your ads about. And so if you just focus on that and just pump your ad account full of them, you're just gonna make so much more money. The more that I scale brands and the bigger brands that we work with, the less that we media buy. Like, I literally just laugh about it. Like, I had a client saying like, hey, do you think we should optimize these ads? I was like, honestly, I literally don't care. Sure. Because we're just gonna make an ad that's even better. Like, some of you guys will literally spend an hour and a half trying to figure out if you should turn off an ad, where it's like, I'd rather just see you spend an hour and a half just making a better ad. So it's like, oh, well, we ain't about turning it off anymore because we got a new ad that's just absolutely ripping. So who cares? You know what I'm saying? So that's my rant. For anybody that watched this, thank you. And hopefully this like got through to you and can help you stay focused on just like what actually matters and just blur out all the other BS that does not matter. And again, I'm guilty of it, because if you go to my channel, like, this is the funniest thing, guys. Like, if you actually go to my channel and you look at some of my biggest videos, they're about media buying. Like, that's what gets the clicks. These, videos where I'm telling you, like, focus on creatives, and obviously people know that creatives work. And here's the biggest thing. So many of you guys, you try media buying tactics, right? And they don't work. And then what ends up happening is you see a new mechanism, right? You see a new media buying tactic. And you're like, oh, this might work, right? And then again, it just doesn't work. Or if it does, 5, 10%, whoop-de-doo, now we're spending an extra $100 a day, right? But with creatives, unfortunately, what happens with so many of you guys is you test creatives and then they don't work. And then first, it's the hardest thing to do, but you just have to tell your brain, like, I'm going to keep focusing on creatives, because you're technically, to your brain, you're doing the same thing. You're trying media buying, it didn't work. You tried creatives, it didn't work. But the thing is that creatives are things that will actually scale. I have never seen a media buying strategy 5 to 10x like ad account in my life, never once. Ever. Unless you're the one client that had crazy viral organic videos that just wasn't testing them. Then, putting the ads in the account and media buying is going to happen. But for 99.9% of you, that's not your case. But the point is that media buying just won't do that, but creatives will. And the hardest part is that when you start doing creatives and when they don't work, you have to keep going. You cannot stop. You cannot be like, I'm giving up on creatives. They don't work. You have to keep doing it. You have to keep testing, and you have to push through, and you have to break your belief, and you have to change your lens from what you think good ads are to what good ads actually are. And that takes time. And that's the craziest thing, is like, so many of you guys want to get rich like super fast. It's like, why? Like, the faster you get rich, the faster you lose it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the slower it happens, the more sustainable it is, and usually the more money that you make. A really great example of this, and I was supposed to be ending with the previous point, but it's like Chick-fil-A. Like, Chick-fil-A took like 25 or 30, like, look it up. Like, their growth was so slow, but they prioritized their quality and how they do things. And now all of a sudden, like, I mean, look at Chick-fil-A. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? And I know it's a completely different example, but the point is like, if you just focus on getting a skill set, because guess what? When you suck at creatives, but you keep pushing forward and you keep trying to get better and you keep trying to get new information around creatives of like, what else could I test on creatives? What else could I do to get better at creatives? And you keep absorbing information, getting information, testing it, and doing more of what works, less of what doesn't, and just keep pushing forward in that realm of creatives. I literally guarantee you, you will make way more money. If you just did nothing but creatives for a year straight, you would probably 10x your income. 100%. Like, and whatever, somebody sues me for guaranteeing that. It's not a 100% guarantee, but at the end of the day, like, that's what you need to focus on, okay? And so that's the hardest part is like, for some of you guys, you're trying something new, which is creatives, and like, you know it works, but you're like, I'd rather just click buttons. And at the end of the day, most people are going to take the easy way out, and that's the way it is. But if you just find a way to dig deep and push through, and the one thing that actually matters, which is making ad creatives and marketing in general, you're gonna be a lot better off. So that's it. That's my rant for the day. For anybody who watched this video, thank you. Obviously, we're getting close to Q4. We got a bunch of stuff coming out around Q4 as well. Some case studies, some strategies, some tactics. We're gonna have Black Friday creatives, all that kind of stuff. Speaking of creatives, so if you're new to the channel, definitely hang around for that. I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know if you guys like these rant style videos, but they definitely get me fired up. And at the end of the day, I just hope this helps even just one of you just figure out that you need to stay focused on this, because all the guys that you see hitting 100K days that have been on the channel that we've talked to, that's what they've done. Just figured I'd share it with you guys. If you guys are interested, you want to get better at creatives, ta-da, call to action here. You can check out Evolve down below. If you're completely like, doing less than 100K per month with your brand, you can check out Origins, a new program as well. Our price keeps going up every week over there because we're adding a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, those are the two communities I've got for you. And if you're a brand that actually wants to work with kind of a crazy team, we are still accepting a few applications, but it has to be very specific. But if you want to apply, feel free. And if our team thinks you're a good fit, then we can work something out. But I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for anybody who made it to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.